Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me here back on my desk. This time more Lego craziness. As you guys could see, I decided to get the Batcave Shadowbox. I do have a couple of the other Batman sets. This was my reasoning for wanting to get this. And also I do kind of like the Shadowbox aspect of it and the whole Batcave motif. So it was definitely something that I was looking forward to get. Of course, the big thing for this set is that it is quite expensive. It's around $400. That's quite a chunk of change to sort of drop. I did wait to get this until double BIP points were being offered by Lego to try and maximize, some of the cash back that I would get. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to sort of get started with this. It's a pretty big box, I must tell you. The delivery guy delivered this, and yeah, it was also pretty heavy. It's a lot of plastic bags, but really cool nonetheless. French and Spanish, so that's really cool. And then back here, of course, they show you all that comes in the set. Obviously, if you've seen other videos or if you've seen the advertisements for this thing, you know it's a shadow box that sort of opens, and then on the inside there's a whole Batcave with all the different things that are normally in a Batcave, like a Batmobile, an Alfred. And yeah, you do get a couple of other minifigs as you show there, but definitely looking forward to see how this build shakes out. A bit overwhelmed because this box is huge. So it does seem like a big set, and I know sometimes building things like this box with a bunch of blocks of the same color can get a bit tedious, but definitely looking forward to the end product and show you guys, sort of give you my thoughts on this thing. Okay, so to give you guys a bit of a view here, finally done with the Batcave shadow box here. Took me, I want to say, probably about 2 weeks, about an hour per day, just taking my time. I will tell you, initially, I was dreading this build a bit just because of all the black and gray pieces that you use. But I will tell you, that's something that Lego does a pretty good job with organizing the different steps, the different bags, so that you don't get too overwhelmed building, everything in black or everything in gray like I was. So the build was actually pretty enjoyable, and it did go faster than I was expecting it. But once you're done, you're left with this awesome shadow box here, and you do get a couple of minifigs. You get 6 in total. Sorry, 4, 6, 7 in total, and I'll show you those in a second. But this is pretty much the final product here, right? So this does open up, but when it's closed, this is what it looks like. This is how I will display it on my shelf. You can clearly see the interior. You can see parts of the Batcave. Of course, you see the 2 minifigs there on the left with Bruce Wayne, and of course Alfred there. The Batmobile, which is also part of the build. And there's different little functions here that I will show you in a second, but it's really cool. It's not too heavy. And you can take and turn it here, show you the sides, pretty much all black bricks. And then here on the back is a lot of gray bricks. As I said, I think if you look at this as a whole, you're like, oh my God, I have to build all these gray and black pieces, but they do a good job again. All these different knobs that you see back here are for the different functions in the set, right? There's doors that open, there's chairs that spin, there's a light up block here that you could see to light up sections. So some really cool play features from that end. One additional thing, there is a bit of a hiding spot here that you can use to store pieces. So you just pull this out. It's just a door that comes off, part of the build. And here the instructions tell you to store, for example, the fire or flame piece from the Batmobile. So you can store it in there so you don't lose it. What I ended up doing also, you'll see a minifig head there. This is the head for one of the minifigs that I stored in there. I'll show you that in a bit. And this one does have 2 different prints. So I put it in there because I didn't want to lose the extra head. But you could store your stuff in there and then pretty much close this and you're good to go. The top here, and I'll try to show you. Actually, let me show you this side. This side also has a bit of a play feature with the Batmobile, right? It's essentially the door to let the Batmobile in and out. You can pull it up, and then there's a button here, and it closes it. So really cool. Bam, closed. But that is the Batcave Shadowbox. That's what you will get, once you're building it and it's closed. Let's start off with some of the minifigs that you could see I placed here on the top. They don't need to go there, but that's where I'm going to put mine for display purposes. But to start us off, this is Max Shrek. So this is obviously Batman Returns. This is after the sequel to the Batman 1989 movie with Michael Keaton. I believe this was Christopher Walken, if I remember correctly. But it gets a hat, his cane or whatever you have, that stick there, as I call it, print on the chest there. He's got his gray suit with pinstripes, and his vest, his tie. This guy was one of the bad guys in that film, and of course you see again more pinstripes and some details there added. You get this cool little hairpiece here, and of course him looking all angry and upset because, of course, as I said, he's a bad guy. No detail on the legs, so just plain old gray legs, which is, I guess, a bit of a disappointment there, but overall cool little minifig. So we'll put him aside. The next one is Catwoman. Of course, no likeness here to Michelle Pfeiffer, who played Catwoman in that movie. But you do get her whip. You get this little cat ears. And of course, there's the printed face. So really cool. Some detail there on the back. Her suit had a lot of tears and stitches and everything. So you could see they've done that here on the front of the chest and also on the back. And then just, again, the plain legs, which again is a bit of a disappointment. Wish they would have continued some of those tears and stitches there, but really cool nonetheless. So that's the second minifig. Third is actually one of my favorite ones because I don't have this guy in my collection, and it's a penguin. This was played by Danny DeVito, and I think he did such an awesome job in that movie. But again, they've given you the hat. You don't get an extra face on the back here, but of course the hat, you can place it in any which way, but I have it sort of this way. But you can see his face, the yellow teeth, he's got the scowl. You get this brown plastic piece that is separate. You kind of put that on top, then put the head on top of it. And that really adds, I think, to the overall look of this figure. You've got the chest there, with his suit and his jacket, which looks really cool in black, and the tan pants. Again, no detail on the pants, some detail here on the back. You do get, of course, his umbrella, which I believe he used as a little helicopter, and also, I don't recall, maybe it would have been a gun too, but it's been a while since I've seen this movie. And of course the fish, because him being the penguin in that movie, he ate fish. So really cool nonetheless. Moving on. The first Batman minifig that you're going to build is going to be this one, Michael Keaton. He's got the soft plastic cape here. It's really cool. It's a bit bendable, so it's like rubber. You've got the details there on the belt, the chest, and of course the cape itself is one piece with the mask, which actually, that's what it was in the movie. If I remember correctly, the actor had issues, Michael Keaton, with turning his head because he really couldn't, right? He had to turn his whole body there. No detail on the legs, which again, it's a shame. But if we take this off, you could see there is his head. So I call them glasses here, but these white sunglasses are technically his eyes under the mask. And he's got here smirking, and then of course he got here all serious, and then this goes on top. You can see there is some print here on the back. Got something on the back, but looks like a batarang. But again, no detail on the legs, which is a bit of a shame. Wish I would have added that. But you put the cape on, and that's pretty much what he looks like. I like these minifig, other than the the fact that this cape will get in the way. He can't really sit anywhere. He could stand, but he can't sit because of the way the cape is sculpted. There are 3 more minifigs, so I'm going to take him out of here. This is actually Bruce Wayne, as played in that movie by Michael Keaton. Again, there you go. Hairpiece. He's got the different smirking face. He's also got a Batman face under here, with the glasses again. Again, I call them glasses. I know they're his eyes, but you put that on. He's got his suit with the sweater, the gray sweater, and the white dress shirt, and some little details on the back. But again, no leg print. There you go. There's Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne. And I always forget this actor's name. He was Alfred in all of those movies back then. But this is Alfred. He's got the glasses. He's got, of course, a caring demeanor in his face. He's got the hairpiece here. And he's got a more, concerned look here. Probably Bruce, of course, not taking care of himself and doing Batman things all the time. He's got, of course, his suit there with the bow tie. Accessories-wise, he's got this little tray with the teapot and, of course, a teacup because he's always giving Bruce some tea there. And, of course, you got a little detail on the back. But no leg print. But cool minifig. So that's 6 in total. The 7th minifig is another Batman minifig. And I'll show you that one in a second. So pretty much you take this, and the way this is built is so that you can open it. So you kind of take your fingers down here and you split it open, and essentially it opens up to reveal what it's pretty much a very awesome Batcave here. That is really, really cool. I'm trying to show you a bit of a wide angle, but I'll bring you in closer in a second. Of course, left side opens up to be pretty much the Batcave. And you could see all the little details and sections there. I'll show you all that in a second. Really cool. A lot of bats sort of hanging down, staglites and the rocks and stones. Of course, here's the Batmobile itself and the ramp there. You got some tools down here. You got, of course, your ladder and the different sections to walk throughout the Batcave. And the section here on the right is pretty much the bat symbol. And there is a lot of detail as far as the stonework here, more bats. So that's really cool. But the more interesting side is, of course, here on the left, along with the Batmobile. Speaking of the Batmobile, this is a whole separate build. These are actually bags 1 through 3. And, I do have bigger Batmobiles. This one is really cool. Again, there's 89 or 90 Batman movies were pretty cool, and this Batmobile definitely holds up its part here of the deal. I think it's really well done for a small piece. A lot of cool detail. The flame effect here, as I showed you earlier, you can use that to hold on to here, and it will essentially roll. So when you roll this in the ground, the flame effect will move, so that's really cool. Other playability is you'll see here there's a little gear that you use to turn, and what this does is it essentially, like in the movie, lets you have this breakaway sections here that then reveal machine guns. And then, of course, that was from the movie, as I said, but they're on a little mechanism there that brings them in and out. So you can do that, and then we can put these back. Of course, I'm already breaking stuff here, so it's not delicate by any means. I would just be careful where you're pressing on things. And then these you could just, of course, that's the wonder about Lego, right? Pieces come off, you can just tap them back in. So that's really cool. These sections here on the side, I'm gonna call them intakes. I don't know what they are. Maybe, I know these are the radiators, perhaps. These do swivel. So again, that's really cool. But overall, a really, really nice build on this little Batmobile. And it's a great way to get this started. The cockpit does open, so you can open this up and put a minifig in there, and you've got A lot of stickers there. So whatever little detail you see there on the gauges and on the sides, those are all stickers, which were a bit of a pain to try to put straight on. But, you know, once you get your minifig in there, you can then close this up and we're good to go. But overall, really like this Batmobile. I'm going to give you a closer look here at the different sections of the Shadowbox. Alrighty, so I figured let's get this section out of the way. I do like this section, but it's where a lot of the details are not included. But there is some nice stonework here, right? Again, it's a Batcave, so you do use a lot of pieces to represent all the different stones and rocks, etc., that are part of that. So I thought that was really cool. Of course, you use the different black pieces to get your bat symbol shape. And again, Lego does a good job of organizing the steps so that you're not feeling overwhelmed with building in all this black and gray, but you'll see a lot of stonework, a lot of stuff that's supposed to be meant as rock. And of course, you get your little rubber bats hanging everywhere. You've got some, I guess, girders or metal support here, and then some lights. And, you know, once you're done building, none of this interferes when you close it, or at least it shouldn't. So again, that's really cool, but it is probably the least interesting aspect or side of this set. Moving on here, the middle part here is, of course, where the Batmobile will sit. Of course, you got your awesome bat symbol there. You've got the ramp here where you will park your Batmobile. So, and it fits in there really well, nice and snug. I mean, it's not going anywhere. You've got all these little lights here. And as I showed you guys earlier, there is a way to raise that door so that, you know, you can have the Batmobile come in and out. So you just lift it, it catches in there. And of course, as I showed you earlier, there is a button back here and boom, releases the door. There is, again, some stonework here. So again, that's really cool. But overall, awesome build. Some repetitive steps, but again, I think Lego did an awesome job, especially with this ramp and making everything feel cohesive. You see this section here, my finger's pointing at, that will line up with the section here of the box. So you know you're kind of along, you know, the correct alignment when you're closing the box, right? So that's really cool. Let's look at this side over here now. All right. So here we are on what is undoubtedly the most interesting side of this build. Really awesome. You do get a lot of pieces to simulate the stonework and everything. You get some alignment pins here that will match up to these sides here. So again, you know you're on our right step to align everything. You get a lot of these little pieces. More bats. You'll see them everywhere. Of course, you can't have a Batcave without bats, right? So starting off here on the right, you've got your bat closet, bat armory. But of course, you see the little batarangs. You see his grappling hook / gun. These cabinets here do open. So if you wanted to store stuff in there, you can as well. They both do open. That's part of the build. You got your little ramp here. That's part of this section of the floor. And of course, one of the aspects here is that you can turn the yellow knob and these doors will close. So you could display it closed. You got some stonework there on the sides, or you can display it open. So again, that's one of the play features that I think is really cool that adds to this set. Moving on down here to the middle section, you will see a little Batman face sort of staring at you. And that's because, again, continuing with the play feature aspect of it, there's another yellow knob here that actually lowers this door. So when you turn it, and I'm trying to make sure to turn it the right way, it lowers the door. And of course, you see in there the extra minifig or bat suit. So this is where Batman essentially stores his bat suits. The other play feature of this is that there is a light brick, as I showed you guys earlier. So when you press here from the back, you'll see that it lights up. Of course, it's very bright in this room right now where I'm at, but you know, in the dark, this looks really cool. Now this minifig, he's not plugged in there. He's not being held by any studs. He's kind of just sitting there. And I'll show you. This one is pretty much the exact same as the other one, except that the cape is cloth. So you get a cape cloth. This one will probably fit in better into the Batmobile, better than this one. But the chest is pretty much the same, other than, because the right one has a rubber cape. The Bat's symbol is kind of printed on this one, right? Versus this is printed or is part of the cape. And again, you could take this out. And if you guys remember earlier, I showed you an extra head that I was storing in the back of this thing. This is the extra head. So you can put in a head and have two Batman minifigs. Maybe one sits in the Batmobile. For me, I wanted to keep this one as the extra suit. So you do get you can take this off and they give you a little just clear see-through blue piece to, I guess, when the light hits it just right, it looks awesome. So this is pretty much, think of it like Tony Stark storing his suits. This is just Bruce storing his different bat suits in that location. So he goes sitting in there. And again, really cool that you're able to then, lift this up if you wanted to. You can leave it open or closed, whatever works for you. And then, of course, play with the light feature there. So that's really cool. Moving on down here, you'll see, again, some ladders. And over here is, of course, the command center. You can take Bruce and have him sit on that chair, or Batman for that matter. So you could take Bruce here, have him sitting there, looking at, the different screens. You got one screen here where all these different gauges, a map. Again, same thing here, different gauges and a map, etc. There is another chair here. So if you wanted to, you can sit an extra minifig here. This specific chair here also does spin, and you can do it by hand, but there is a knob in the back here, which is the lower one, which you can use to spin the chair. So you guys can see it there. So again, more playability. So that's really cool in my book that they added all that. So you guys could see it. The other cool part of this, and I don't know if you could see it, we'll remove Bruce there, is the screen here. That is a pretty big sticker, which I think I did a good job myself. That then, I don't know if you guys could see it here and here. It's got two different screens as well. So, but this is one whole sticker on one piece that slips back and forth. You've got Penguin's face. You got the little army of penguins. And of course, you got Penguin himself on the bigger screen. But again, there is another yellow piece here that you can spin. And it literally just moves the screen. So it changes it for you. And then bam, now you're looking at Catwoman in the department store. And you've got, again, some additional, you got the cat face there and another cat, a shadow there. So again, that's really awesome. That's really cool. Shame the whole sticker for the most part gets obstructed in view. But I think it's a cool feature nonetheless. And then that's pretty much it at that point. You got more bats, more stonework, and then you got some sections in the bottom here that I will show you right now. More stonework here, more bats. You've got this ladder that leads up here, and you've got more walkways here. And then down here, again, more stonework up here at the top. And here, of course, you got all the bat tools. You got some wrenches, some hammers, some ratchets. You've got some, like a impact gun, whatever that may be, something for oil, a screwdriver, a hammer, some little tools, again, to fill out the Batcave here. But nonetheless, really, really cool. This is awesome to have as a playset. So overall, I am really happy with the way this set came out. I do know, obviously, this thing's pretty expensive. It's up there upwards of, I think, 300 or something like that, if I remember correctly. But I've had it for a while. I bought it last year when it was released. I just didn't have the time to build it until now. But really cool build nonetheless. Again, if you're planning on getting this and you're thinking, oh my God, all this black and gray brick you will not get overwhelmed. Again, Lego does a good job of ensuring that you know, the build is one of the aspects that Lego does a good job of organizing, so that you're not feeling too overwhelmed or bored because you're building the same steps over and over again. I don't know if I showed this here on the top, but this is the top of the Batcave here, Shadowbox. Really cool. I guess one of the things that I wish they would have done, perhaps a little different, would have been maybe prints on the legs of the minifigs. And then also would have been cool to get like a couple of penguins, like the actual little penguins with the rockets or the missiles that they had in the movie that the penguin uses as his minions, right? That would have been nice to have at least two of those extra minifigs, considering how expensive this thing is. Um, Really cool. I guess the other thing too is, is this a piece you're going to play with, or is this going to be a display piece? I think solely as a display piece is a pretty expensive display piece, but I think it's pretty unique. I don't have a Batcave, and I do have a couple other Batman sets. I have the 89 Batmobile, I have the Batwing, I have the Batmobile from The Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan movie. So I think just adding this to expand my Batman collection was definitely worth it, at least for me. But if perhaps you're just looking for a display piece, you probably won't get a lot of use out of the play features, right? I think it's really cool every once in a while. You open it, you play with the things, and then you kind of just put it away. So at the end of the day, as a display piece, you're kind of just letting it sit there as a just shadow box, but a really cool shadow box because you can see a lot of the details. You also get this cool Batmobile. So again, if you're into collecting Batmobiles, that's a really cool piece. But overall, nonetheless, really happy with this. So I'm glad I was able to build this and add it to my collection. Anyway, if you made it to the end, me rambling about this thing, I'm very, very happy with it. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you. If I missed anything, you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, I will let you go, and I will see you next time.